Welcome to The Explainer. All right, today we're cracking open a single book from all the way back in 1963 that quietly, almost secretly, built the foundation for a billion-dollar industry and really shaped how millions of people think about reality itself.
You've heard this stuff everywhere, right? It's the core promise of what we now call the law of attraction, that your thoughts literally create your reality. And yeah, it feels so modern, like something born out of the internet age. But it's not. Not even close. So, where did it really start? I mean, what if I told you the entire blueprint for this movement wasn't from the 2000s, but from decades and decades earlier? The real story kicks off with one single, incredibly influential book that set the stage for everything we hear today.
Yep, we're talking about Joseph Murphy's 1963 classic, The Power of Your Subconscious Mind. It's kind of the quiet giant that all of modern positive thinking is standing on, so if you really want to understand the law of attraction, you absolutely have to start with Murphy.
And you gotta understand, Murphy's background is so key to this whole thing. He wasn't some pop psychologist. He was a minister. And his work grew directly out of this 19th century movement called New Thought. So you should think of it less as self-help and more as a spiritual philosophy, one that took bits of Christian faith and blended them with Eastern ideas. So, what was this core philosophy? What made this book so revolutionary? Well, Murphy broke the human mind down into a really simple but really powerful two-part model. Murphy's model is a ship. Your conscious mind, that's the captain on the bridge. It's the part of you that thinks, reasons, argues, and gives all the orders. But the real power, he said, is down in the engine room, your subconscious mind. And here's the kicker. It doesn't question any of the orders. It just powers the ship and makes things happen, no matter what. And that brings us to the book's central engine, the law of belief. It's simple, really. Your subconscious mind will take whatever your conscious mind habitually believes as the absolute truth, and then it gets to work making that belief your physical reality. If you truly believe you'll be successful, you'll find a way. If you truly believe in scarcity, well, that's what you'll get. But see, Murphy took it a huge step further. This wasn't just some neat psychological trick. He taught that your subconscious mind is a direct line, a conduit, to what he called infinite intelligence, a kind of universal mind. So when you tap into your own subconscious, you're not just tapping into yourself, you're tapping into this universal source of power and wisdom. And that spiritual element is what really elevates this from just a mind hack to a whole philosophy of life. And this whole philosophy, it definitely did not stay locked up in 1963. Its ripple effect has been absolutely massive, and honestly, you can still see its influence pretty much everywhere you look today. I mean, you can draw a direct, unbroken line from those spiritual ideas of the New Thought movement, right through Murphy's practical How to Use It book, all the way to the 2006 global phenomenon The Secret, which, let's be honest, repackaged these exact same concepts for a whole new generation. The book's influence really spread out in three key ways. One, it laid all the groundwork for the like attracts like mantra that defines the law of attraction. Two, it helped popularize the mind-body connection in health. And three, and this is the most fascinating part, it pioneered techniques that look shockingly similar to modern therapy. Okay, now this is where things get really wild. Look at this. On the left, you've got Murphy's methods from 1963 using affirmations, changing your negative self-talk. And on the right, these are core techniques from modern cognitive behavioral therapy, or CBT. Now, the reasons behind them are totally different. One is spiritual, the other is scientific. But the actual practical techniques, they are strikingly similar. But of course, a philosophy this bold, this big, was bound to have its critics. So to really get the full picture, we have to look at the big arguments against it. First step is the risk of passivity. Critics argue that by focusing so heavily on just your thoughts, the book can seriously downplay the reality of hard work, of strategy, and of all the external obstacles out there that you just can't think away. Next, there's the evidence problem. The book is built almost entirely on personal stories and anecdotes, which are compelling for sure, but not on scientific data. So, for many people, these huge claims about healing diseases or creating immense wealth, they just don't hold up to scientific scrutiny. And hey, if you've ever actually tried to read it, you might agree with this next one. It is incredibly repetitive. Murphy drills the same core ideas into your head chapter after chapter. Now, maybe that's on purpose, to impress the subconscious, but for a lot of readers, it just feels redundant. And finally, we have the spiritual framing itself. The book's heavy use of religious language, with constant references to God and prayer, can be a major roadblock for secular or non-Christian readers. The philosophy is so tied up with the specific spirituality that it can feel impossible to separate the two. So, after peeling back all of these layers, the history, the mechanics, the huge influence, and all the critiques, what are we supposed to take away from this profoundly influential text? Tool or truth? So here's where I think we land. Maybe this book isn't a scientific manual for literally changing the world around you, but instead it's a powerful psychological tool. Its real value might be in giving people a framework for hope, a sense of agency, and a more positive mental outlook. And hey, those things have a power all their own. And this, right here, this is the central question that lingers. Is the true power of your subconscious mind really about bending the universe to your will? Or is it about reshaping your internal world so you can engage with the universe in a more powerful, more effective way? The answer to that question might just be the real secret.